All right. So, first, what do you think are your problems?
Probably the macro,
Macro, okay.
like decision
Hmm.
and well, when to use wave management and things like this, I guess.
Okay.
Um, some mechanics as well, but that's just I need to do more games, I think,
Yeah,
because
how
I've
long? Yeah.
yeah I've been playing in season 1 and like till season 4, and then I stopped the game for a while and just started in, like this this year,
Okay, so you just
just
came
before the
back.
season starts. Yeah, yeah, like
Uh,
4 months or 5, I think.
so what was your peak?
Uh, only gold 4, I think. I was playing on U
Hmm.
West, and I was uh, I was playing with 200 ms. So with my pings, I couldn't go. I think
Right.
it didn't help me to go further. But now I'm playing on the SG server,
Hmm.
and I play with ATMS, which is very very different and so smooth.
Yeah, eight. You said eight.
80,
80. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Eight is like the dream ping.
Yeah,
Everyone would love to play eight. I
that
was
would be
almost gonna say I
insane.
was
Yeah,
jealous. I was
but
very jealous.
I'm so far away from everything in Island
Yeah,
Island. That's why.
man.
But 80 is already good enough. I think it's kind of nice.
Okay, yeah, it's pretty good. Um, so right now, in terms of your OPGG, is really I don't really see anything that really stands out. I think you're playing in terms of your runes and whatnot. You're playing pretty standard. I think going for the Korean capital too is it's interesting, but it does promote a different kind of play style. Uh, well, we can get into that ending.
Yeah.
So everything else looks good. All right.
Oh, I can
Okay, so you're
go
up against
now for the
Vex.
yeah tenacity.
Super annoying.
Indeed, yeah, squishy enough.
Um, both Electrocute and Conquer work pretty well against. No, in my opinion, I think Conquer is probably better against Vex to
Yeah.
actually fight her one on one. When you find an opening when she uses her fear, it's like you can maybe use that time to like jump in on her, and you want to make sure that you kill her when you do, because like a lot of times when it
Oh,
comes to
you do
Electrocute,
long. Yeah, you do long trade instead of short trades. I think.
yeah, you can going for short trades with Vex is pretty hard though,
Yeah,
because
yeah. I was seeing this in my games and did some mistakes as well. Like I was waiting for a fear and then I forget about it and I just get fear every time I do another trade.
okay, it's pretty hard because she gives you very little openings for you to actually go in. So
Yeah.
if you do find an opening, that's when you like take full advantage of it with Conquer Longsword, which is what you can do with Vex at least. But I'm
Yeah.
okay with this too. Going D Shield, Electrocute,
Yeah, I went this shit
also
for
good.
yeah because I knew I was gonna have a hard time in the middle.
Okay, so if this is the case, if this is what you're getting, Electrocute, D Shield, you're really not looking to pressure too hard unless it's free.
Yeah.
Only for like very short Electrocute trades that you know is going to be pretty safe. You're just using it to just apply pressure onto Vex. They hit who were the junglers starting here. So okay,
Yeah, I was trying to ward to raptors at this point before the minions meet,
yeah,
and then I saw Kane. I think is probably starting at raptors or head.
right, okay, because he does like solo raptors, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. So first, I think if I'm put in this scenario, I want to pretty much let you know how I would go about this situation. Uh, so well, first off, um, if you have any questions, make sure you ask away. I think those are very good learning points. So make sure
yeah.
if you have any questions, let me know. I'll answer them.
All right, all right.
Second,
Thank you.
it's like for this game specifically, there's not a lot of pressure that I'm going to be putting onto Vex, even though I'm going to try to find windows. If she gives windows, because in this matchup, she kind of dictates it at this point and how she plays.
Yeah,
But you can totally make most out of her mistakes and try to pressure her then. But even then, it's a hard lane, right? If she just plays it completely like degenerate,
yeah,
then you might not even be able to play the lane. So
yeah. I think she was doing a lot of mistakes that I didn't abuse, but I guess you'll see. Like
yeah,
she was using a fear, and sometimes I could have got in. I think.
yeah, and even if she uses her fear, it's like sometimes you jump in
Yeah,
after and like she still
yeah.
wins the
Just jump
trade.
when she's yeah. She just auto attack and
Yeah.
gets more damage from her passive. Yeah,
But well, in terms of like the actual format of the game here, I'd probably be like, okay, well, I can't do anything to Vex. So what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to pressure the map, but I have to find openings. That's one. It's to pressure the map more so than pressure the Vex. Second is to make sure that I hit my item spikes, because Nashor's is gonna be a really big buy here. So these are the
yeah,
two things that I'm looking for in the laning phase. We can try to play very aggressive on the Vex and see if we could find any windows to pressure, but at the same time, that's like baseline what we're going for. And if she gives me an opportunity to fight, I will fight. So it's
all right.
almost second. And then the first is hitting my items and then roaming. And
All right.
also, in this lane, if you want to pressure her too, you have a pretty good champion that can gank mid, which is Nunu. So you can also set
Yeah,
up the wave so that she walks up and then have Nunu gank for you as well. So that's also one way to go about this lane.
yeah. All right.
Level 1, not much. A lot of just dodging her Q.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I didn't.
Which is completely fine because D shield is very nice for these kind of situations. Even if you get hit just a little bit, cool. All right, so you did want to talk about like managing waves, right? So
Yeah,
if I mean, best case scenario is that you have the wave here, right?
yeah,
Because then that would be safe for you. You can pretty much just chill near your tower, and it'd be harder for Vex to actually do anything. So in this case, like, how would you keep the wave here? Or do you know how to set it
I
up in a way where it would?
I think I might doing it, but I don't know if I'm doing it correctly. Like
Okay.
at the third wave, well, she's already pushing. So at the third wave, I think it will be under my tower, or at least between the rocks and the tower, kinda.
Okay, hold on.
And I try to freeze if she lets me, but sometimes I think I just have to go under tower.
Okay, so it's gonna be a lot about like when you push and when you don't push. So we'll see as the game goes. And it's like the way you touch the wave and the way you affect the wave is gonna affect how the wave's gonna stay. So I mean, right now you're not even touching the wave, right? You
Yeah.
are last hitting with Qs, which is completely fine, but it's just like Vex is pushing harder than you, and so the wave's pushing into you. And so she has like a window where, like, let's say if she shoves this right now, it's gonna crash.
Yeah.
And it's gonna get hit by tower. But then if she doesn't push hard enough, this next minion wave will come in and it's gonna catch it. So you kind of wanna.
Yeah.
It's a lot about timing, when you push, when you wanna hard shove, and how fast you can actually shove. So here, let's see. I mean, currently Vex isn't pushing hard enough. Okay, she pushed hard enough. Now the wave's gonna completely crash, which
Yeah.
in this case, it's very hard for Katarina to do much about it because Vex does control the lane. But that was a good trade. Okay, now we're hitting level 3 Nunu. Keep an eye on the Nunu here as well. So early laning phase, what I want you to do is first 3 minutes, I want you to keep in mind of Scuttle. So then,
Yeah. If there's a fight and scuttle between the buff jungle, I can move faster.
yeah. And
But
you can almost like just keep it in mind. In this matchup, it's a little bit hard, but I want you to like be able to set up for it so that when it hits around the time Scuttle comes up, you're able to help first. So
yeah.
then, for example, it's like imagine at like 3 minute 10 20 seconds, you have your wave crashed into the tower, and so
Yeah.
Vex has to be on their tower. That way, you could just like help get the Scuttle. Yeah, you know what I mean?
But like when you're pushed under your tower, how do you still move or do you have to take the
Yeah.
farm and yeah?
So then,
I mean when she pushes towards me and I can't do anything about it.
so let's say you're pushed under tower, right?
Yeah.
Um, there's two things. What you can do, I guess there's three. So then, first of all, you have to really see and pan your camera there to see the situation. Like, is Nunu just gonna? Nunu has smite and scuttle, Q. So then he can actually take it pretty easily. So if that's the case, you don't have to worry too much. But
Yeah.
um, so you have to really scope out the situation. That's one. You have to take a look. Two, if it's like 250 and Vex has to be pushed in, you just like hard shove this wave so that you're available. Like it
All right.
pushes into you and then you like hard clear it. Third
All
scenario
right.
is if it pushes in at the perfect time when Scuttle comes up and you know Vex is walking up to fight the Nunu, then you should like you have to look at
Move.
it and see if you want to leave the wave or not. And that's something that you have to do in a lane where you can't control this this scenario.
All right.
So it's a decision that you have to make. It's like, oh, I know I'm gonna lose this wave. More so, you don't want to lose the wave. If there's like two stacked waves against you, I would more so stick with the wave because that's too much of a
Yeah.
deficit that you're going into.
All right.
You have to really feel it out. But if Kane's starting Raptors, then we can maybe assume he's bottom. I'm not sure how his pathing works. But if Nunu is starting bottom and he's going here, then it's a good chance that they're just taking like Scuttle this way.
Yeah.
So we'll see. You could have saved your pot here. So I've noticed with a lot of the people that I coach that they like pop their pot too early. This is one of those cases because D Shield has passive healing. So you wanna, if you're not gonna fight within the next like 30 seconds, a minute, and you don't feel like you're gonna have an opening, you can just sit back and just chill. But like, let's say Vex
Yeah.
gets another trade on you and you're like here, maybe like
Yeah.
here, then yeah, you should pop the potion. But D Shield healing is pretty much one of the reasons why we like get D Shield into like harder matchups. It's because
Yeah.
of the sustain, the innate sustain that you get. So this is a little preemptive. So we'll see where this goes. So D shield is one of those items where like you want to stay in the lane for as long as possible. And so this pot is very valuable. So try
Yeah.
to keep that in mind.
All right.
Vex uses one pot though. Ooh. Okay, so I like that you got aggressive, but at the same time, fuck this champion, right? That's one. Two,
I think I saw the spell she was doing and tried to EW near to her, but it was way too far.
yeah, so I saw you trying to take advantage of this. But yeah, she's keeping herself at a safe distance and use their ability on
Yeah.
this. But I like the idea. I think you had the right idea. It's like she's gonna go for this. She's gonna use an ability to go for this. I'm gonna trade with her at this very moment.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
think
good
like I
concept. Is good.
didn't expect. I think I don't remember though, but I think I didn't expect her to use it, so I just reacted to it from trying to trade her at this time. But maybe if I was thinking this before, I would have E on her
Mm-hmm. Uh,
or place myself to E.
so there. I guess there's two ways to go about this. So then yes, I think the concept's good. So let's try to work off this concept, right? So he's going for the CS. It's getting really low, and so the lower it gets, you know she's gonna react, right?
Yeah.
So then you can kind of time it. And so what you can do is first you can set the Q up before this minion dies.
Oh yeah.
That's one.
Yeah.
So then like you're pretty much just leaving a dagger here and being like, hey, you want this farm? Like walk up for it. And I have the dagger
Yeah.
here already. And I'm gonna jump in if you do. That's one. Two, it's let's say you were trying to look for the E, right? So it's like this is just expecting all the possibilities. Like she could totally use whatever that ability is. I think it's Q to like get the minion wave, get this cannon.
Yeah.
And so like you have to watch as she's moving. Just watch. And then from this point, you know she's gonna shoot it because it's getting low. And so you
Yeah.
have to immediately click away. Like so like she throws her skill shot straight. So it goes straight. And so in order
Yeah. I
to
can just.
move properly against it, it's got to be like sort of parallel, or it has to be like on the other side of that actual skill shot. So imagine like a line going right through. So your options are to be clicking like up and down, and you have to be ready for it. Since you weren't ready for it, you ended up reacting to it to the E, which is I guess one way to dodge it, but she can get damage from you like using Shunpo. So that's like super annoying, right? Because when you E into
Yeah.
range, she'll get the auto passive off. So it's just one way to manipulate, sort of understand like how she's going to go about this situation. And then your option here to dodge it was actually just clicking before it actually happened. Now
Yeah.
it's like different. It's like if she was here and she throws it there, your options are like this. You got to click.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying, right? Since it's a
Yeah.
straight skill
Makes
shot.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think the Q is something you can do in a lot of other scenarios too, like just throwing the Q out and then trying to pressure her into walking up, and then
Yeah.
pressuring her
I
into
didn't
walking
think
into
about
the
it.
dagger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's something.
not the end of the world. So D shield does give a lot of sustain. Sadly, it doesn't give as much sustain as it used to. But one good thing about D shield is that, well, in this scenario, uh, actually no, this goes for a lot of scenarios because you're going to be versing a lot of champions with mana. So then what you're trying to do is there's two resources here. She has mana and she has health, where you only have one, and D shield will pretty much help you like sustain up this one resource bar that you need. That's the beauty of playing cat. There's no mana.
Oh,
So when you
yeah.
when you use D shield, you're looking to out sustain and stay in the lane, but you're also looking out to sustain her resources, which is her mana.
Yeah.
So you have to really sort of play for the long con when you go D shield. Be like, okay, like the more skill shots you dodge, the more you make her use skill shots on you, and she doesn't hit them well. Like the the more you'll win in the long run.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think about this. I don't usually look at the enemy mana.
Yeah, it's like it's a beautiful thing when you so Kane actually came. Okay, Kane showed himself. He's gonna be in the bottom side now, so we play around that. Right now, lane's not going too bad. The good thing about this whole scenario is that not only is she using like she's using her mana pretty much to have to poke you. So watch your mana thing carefully. Mana bar. Again here, the wave is pushing into you, so you're actually in a pretty safe spot. So this is a good spot for you. And the reason why the lane is constantly in this position is because you're not able to push fast enough to actually have it push into her. That's one. She's using abilities to try to hit you, and it also hits the wave.
Yeah.
But it doesn't like it's not with the intention of pushing. It's like she'll like hit some of the minions, right? And then
Right.
so she's not pushing it hard enough for it to crash. So then naturally the wave will be pushing into you and it's going to stagger around this area and around this area if she has more minions. And so you can sort of hold this position and just farm safely. So this is right now the scenario is good.
All right.
But let's consider Scuttle here. Scuttle is up. And so Nunu's going to be here. You're panning your camera. Nice. But we know Kane's bottom side, and we know Nunu is probably going to take this top Scuttle. So then we can just probably leave it. I mean, we don't really have good times to roam here at the moment. So looks like she's going to be able to push this and crash this in though. Who wants in? Okay, good. You see how you see how this freeze worked?
Yeah. I work in front of the creeps, and my minions as well comes at the same time. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, so you stood here and you made sure the wave doesn't walk up any further into the tower.
Yeah.
But then there's also another factor. So you can kind of
Uh,
predict this situation happening like moments prior. Like let's say here. You can tell you can freeze it. It's just how.
I could work up, I guess. No,
You could what?
work towards the top lane
Hmm. No, no, no.
and
Another
freeze.
factor.
No. Oh.
You did what you need to do. There's something else happening on the map that is telling you that you're going to get this freeze.
Oh yeah, my minions is coming towards the mid lane.
Yes. So then you're just watching and you're just laning, you're just farming. And then at the same time, you're seeing your minion wave come in.
Yeah.
And so you're timing it's like, okay, can I, like, how long will it take for the minion wave to come in? And will she be able to crash this right now? Or will she not push it fast enough? And will the wave like come in and take it? So then here, as we're doing it, as we're just like holding it, the minion wave's already like coming in pretty quick. It's coming very soon. And then at this point, you're like, okay, I'm just gonna stand here and then
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold the wave. And I'm gonna take the aggro
Yeah.
so that it doesn't push
Because
in any further.
she doesn't push, and she let me freeze it kinda.
Yeah. Well, she even then
Yeah,
she
she
just
went for the ward, I think. Yeah.
yeah. So she didn't push fast enough. Essentially, she had to like
Ah,
completely put all of her attention onto the wave. So then like there was this one time here. So then here. So then the wave meets in the middle. And then now here, if she wants to crash it, she wants to put all of her attention on the wave. Hold on.
yeah.
She wants to put all the attention on the wave here. Just use everything on here, but she's
Yeah,
focusing a
use
lot on you
space.
as well.
Yeah.
And so she's kind of staggering like whether she wants to trade with you or whether she wants to push in the wave. Her intentions are unclear, therefore she's going to like push this very slowly and then it's going to get frozen. And so that's also something you should think about as Cat. It's like when you're here and she's here, let's flip the scenario.
Yeah. I I try to shove it and roam, or like she would be stuck under her tower with the CS, so I can
Yeah.
move for scuttle or roaming
Mm-hmm.
on the map.
And more so the concept that like, okay, my minion wave is coming in, it just spawned, I have to time my push to where it's gonna actually crash. I don't want this next minion wave to come in and stop this wave, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push it all together
Yeah.
right now
I
and make sure it crashes.
yeah.
So yeah, that's things you have to keep in mind here. Vex should have like, if you just look at the Vex here, she's like last hitting, she's trying to get the farm. You walk up and she's like trying to like throw something at you or trying to pressure you, and then she just like, like I'm gonna go for this ward now, and then boom, it got frozen. So looks good. Never mind. Wait.
Yeah, I should have shampooed her, or I guess shampoo sooner on my minions.
Here, yes, but you could have played this
I got
combo slower.
yeah yeah I got feared, and I pick up the dagger far from her also.
Yeah. So this is something that a lot of people go for, where it's like they're playing. They kind of like throw out their abilities too fast. So then you QE'd and then you W'd after, and
Yeah
she has her fear to like make sure that she's safe for like the next however long, like second, right? So she'll like
yeah.
push you away, and so at this point this dagger's obsolete because you can't use it on her. So you used here.
I should have wait
You,
for the W.
yeah, so you use 2 daggers on this spot right here. So like think about wanting to use the daggers on her. You're only really using this one Q dagger here, which was placed fine because you were getting the CS and Nunu's coming at the same time. So you go into this
Wait.
one right when Nunu comes in, and then you just use that to get closer to the Vex. And then you use your EW after to like follow up.
Yeah.
So then that would guarantee that you have a dagger on her. But let's look at the timing here. So I think you went a little bit too early as well. Because Vex was in a position where like she was gonna get hit by this Q. So you could wait for Nunu to hit the Q first so that when you go in, it's a lot safer
Yeah.
to get your damage off.
I guess I was like, oh, the dagger was gonna disappear, so I just went in.
Yeah, you could even just wait for the Nunu Q to hit and then just eat W. Either works.
Yeah.
The thing is, when Vex isn't CC'd, she's able to react like this. So then when you have Nunu CC and then you follow up, it's like a lot harder for her to deal with. And you could
Yeah.
just like throw out the ignite. She's gonna get low too quick to even fight back. So use see the trajectory of the gank. I mean, Nunu, just in this scenario, if Nunu hits the Q, easy follow up, easy kill.
Yeah.
Think about it that way. This goes for a lot of other junglers as well. Like, I don't know, Elise. If Elise is coming and you like, we have to hit the cocoon if we want for this gank to succeed than like wait for the cocoon to hit and then instantly follow up, because if she hits the cocoon, then you're able to like get all your damage off for free, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
she. Yeah.
that's a different
All right.
scenario though. This Nunu Q was 100% guaranteed hit because it's the snowball's fucking huge, right? So here, let's see. All right, so in terms of the wave looks good for your side. You know why?
There are more minions against me, so it's gonna slow push towards me, I think.
Yeah, even the little things.
And my wave and there's cannon, so cannon wave also, so it's gonna take time, and my wave gonna come faster than the clear.
Yeah, so then your cannon wave's actually a lot. It's more healthier than this one. So you can just tell that it's like even if
Yeah.
next wave comes in, it's still gonna push into you. So the wave's in a good spot.
Yeah.
Here you can sort of, so you have the blasting one, but I think one other buy that is very valuable in this lane is refill or some kind of sustain, because
Oh yeah.
when she's very pokey, right? So then you going just blasting one and coming out of the lane is actually kind of dangerous, and we might be able to see this, right? We
Yeah.
want presence in the lane, and we want to make sure that we are available for the team, even though we're in a bad matchup. This is the bad part about being in this matchup, is that like we can't control the lane, but we want to. There's a lot more openings for her to poke. There's a lot more like she has good control over you, and so you want to make sure that you try to mitigate that and stay healthy, so that even if something happens, you're not like poked out and can't do anything. Like you want to be able to continue to do stuff. It's like if you want to like control the lane, if you want to control the waves and go for the push, if you're too poked out, you can't do it. Sometimes you can be like, okay, I have 2 potions. I'm just gonna hard shove this wave. It doesn't matter if X hits me because I have potions. So it kind of gives you some more angles to like actually get aggressive, or it gives you more angles to actually control the waves if you have some sustain. So then this matchup is going to be pretty hard, and then you have to play really safe for you to even stay healthy. And so blasting one's good. I think one very good item you can get is like boots in this matchup to help you dodge. So going like Dark Seal boots into refill could have been good here, or even going Amptome boots. Whatever can potentially get you refill. Here it might have been Dark Seal boot refill, but I think the blasting one is good in the long run. You have to play like it's a long run buy.
All right.
Okay. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. You could have even waited for the pot here because you know the wave's pushing into you anyway.
Yeah.
So
it's like 150, I think, right?
It's 150, yeah. Okay, so we don't know where Vex is. This is a good time to ward because Vex isn't in the lane. She can't pressure the wave right now. It's a good time to ward here. Let's see. It's Arcane bottom side. Okay, so what I would do is I would actually ward like here. And you want to wards like here and here are good. Like where it like kind of shows the vision of everything here. And if you want to put down that ward, you need to find times where like you have actual time to do it, because it sort of makes you walk over there for a couple seconds and then come back. So find an opening where Vex isn't even in the lane touching the wave, so you can hold the wave here, you know that. And then you can go for this ward here. So you want to find like longer openings where you can ward so you can place a better ward. A lot of times people here, they will like go back in a lane and then they'll ward here, this like little side bush. But it gives like no information. You'll only give you information if he's actually like, okay, Kane's gonna gank from here. and then he comes in for the gank, that's when you'll see the ward. But
Yeah,
yeah,
and he could just go through the walls and be faster, I guess.
yeah, you just find openings where you have a little bit more time, and then go for the kind of like that deeper ward, so you get some good information. This will help you and your jungler, and just your enemy, your team as well. All right, so this is interesting right here. Let's see. X might still push. Your news coming in. Catch it. You did the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did the same thing. Yeah, anyway though, you have your Q up. Okay. Two things. So like I said before, you almost want to keep the wave here, right? This is like a
Yeah,
safe
yeah.
spot.
I think I was trying to unhit the minions to the left, but
So
like
that
I
yeah,
hit too many and it was gonna push, I think, towards her.
yeah. So be careful jumping on the dagger, because this is gonna
Yeah,
mess up your wave.
yeah,
So then just want to last hit. Just want to last hit these, and then this
yeah,
wave would have been perfect. And so like she has to walk up for this, which is, what essentially happens anyway.
yeah. You knew cool gank and
But if Vex was aware of this situation and knew that Nunu may gank, what she can do, because the wave is pushing in, she can stand right here and not even
yeah,
interact. But because she, like, let's say you had the wave frozen, then she has to walk up.
yeah,
So here would have been a scenario where it's like you touching the wave could have made it so that this wouldn't work. If you had the wave frozen, then it's like almost, like, it makes the
yeah.
success rate of this
She
gank
has to.
higher.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So exact same thing I said before. Q, E to get closer. Eat W onto her after.
Yeah.
Okay, good gank nonetheless. That was a win. And you hard shove this. Now at this point, we know Vex is dead. Now I want you to assess what you're gonna do next in the next minute. So then,
Try to shove the wave and back. No?
so wait. Okay, so yeah, shove the wave. That's already being done. We know we have to
Yeah,
shove the wave, but then I want you in this position where Vex is dead to check other lanes to see if there's anywhere for you to move, because Vex is dead
yeah,
and she can't do anything about it. That's one. So you're free. This is the type of like freedom I want you to give yourself.
yeah, yeah,
You can, whether you kill Vex yourself or whether jungler ganks, but you are able to set up for the jungler as well. So like this can all be dictated somewhat by you, right? Like you playing properly will help put you in this scenario. And you have all this time for you to do anything. So at this moment, while you're pushing, it's like, okay, it's actually even sooner. It's like, okay, here, Vex is dead. All right, what do I do next? I want you to think about
yeah,
what your next move
yeah,
is.
yeah. I think I'm doing it as well. It's show the wave and got up, or well, it's got up, I think, because Fiora is under tower nearly,
Hmm.
where she's pushing.
Okay, so you're already looking. You think so? You remember you going top.
Yeah, I think I got up. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm not sure
so
if it's that moment, but I
okay,
think I'm going top here.
so in this time right now, you should be looking here.
Yeah.
Like you want the wave to kind of come in, stack first before you can set up a nice little dagger in between all of them, and then you throw out the dagger. But then here, I want you to like pan your camera and see like get information now and
Yeah.
determine your next move.
Right.
Because for me, this is just what I do. I'm a very high tempo player, and so like I always try to think what the next move is. What's the next move? So the moment you see this opening, it's like okay, look top, look bot, check my gold. So it's either you back, you push in, and then you either back or move top or bottom. Like right now, bottom could even be okay too because they're under their tower. Are they low? Like are they
Yeah.
diveable?
Yeah.
So
I think that's the thing I'm missing. Like I'm not watching around the camera and see if they are low HP or not.
yeah, so
Or yeah.
um obviously looking at the map like constantly is hard. It's
Yeah.
hard. So then sometimes even I slip up and I don't like always like look at the map and be super fucking like have an eagle eye for it. But
Yeah.
this is an obvious scenario that you can use to look at the map. And then you
Yeah.
start building up these scenarios and then eventually you look at the map more because you're like, okay, I want to do something with this Vex being dead. All right, let's check the map to see. So this is a good starting point for you to like, okay, like let's look at the map here and see what info I can get.
All right. Yeah.
Are you pushing the wave? All right. Plating was also a consideration, but we don't really have the damage for it right now. And also Vex is coming into lane right now. So we can look bottom, we can look top. Nice. I want you to do this earlier.
Oh, I think I'm going bot then.
Going bot? Okay.
Yeah.
If I look at this, I'm like, okay, I'm not going bot. Like this scenario right
Yeah.
here. They're way too healthy. Shaco isn't a like this is not a good bot lane for you to actually set up to kill them. And even if you like go for a dive, like Morgana has good CC for you to if anyone gets hit by the bind on their tower, they're dead. So it can go really bad real quick.
Yeah.
One kill, Jinx can get the reset, and then she can like start moving around and really chase you down and punish you for this. So just looking at this scenario, the only reason why I would gank this is if I'm expecting jungler to come so I can counter gank. But even then, it's like a little risky. This is just sort of knowing what your bot lane wants to do as well, because Ezreal is not strong early. He's a farming ADC, and he wants to scale. And so you can assume that like Ezreal isn't really strong right now. Like he's just not strong. And then Shaco isn't really a good enabler for you to to roam here. He's more of just like, hey, look, I'm fucking annoying. Try to lane. And so I don't. Okay, so you do back. Now this is a weird spot here. Okay, so the reason why I want you to decide here is because of this scenario. Okay, so then me personally, I would have backed. If there was nothing happening here, I would have backed because I have 800 gold. I can get boots, I can get pots, I can get like a dark seal.
Yeah.
So this would have been nice, right? So then what happens here is that because you don't make the decision. Now, Fiora's healthy. I'm not going to go up and 1v1 her. It's like very low percentage success rate of a gank. I'm not going to go bottom because they're still healthy and bot lane doesn't have any way for me to actually get this gank to work. So I'm just going to back, get my items and come back into lane. And you would have to do this. You would have to do this like you just walk back and recall right now. Why?
Because I'm missing time and the wave is crashing.
Well, what's the
and Vex also coming on the lane.
Yes. So then there's something called tempo. You know about tempo?
Not really. No.
So then Vex is gonna have tempo over you because you did not back here. And here's what tempo is. So then here, so you instantly back here. Now let's say you backed and you came into lane first. You have tempo because you're able to act first onto the wave that's coming in, and you're able to act first in the lane. So then here, what happens is Vex comes back into lane. She's healthy. She backed. And she's like where she needs to be right now. She's as strong as she can be right now. Whereas you are not as strong as you can be. And you have to go back into lane because Vex came back. And so like you're looking for the back now, which means you're behind in tempo. You get what I'm saying?
Oh. Yeah, I see.
So then ultimately what you're trying to do is if you want to continue to pressure the Vex, at the same time pressure the map, you want to make sure you line up at the same time.
Yeah.
So then there was a good chance she was going to come back into lane because like first regardless, but you want to come back into lane as soon as possible with the fresh back with items so that you're actually using the kill that you got. And so now by default you'll be stronger, but right now Vex has to worry less because you didn't use your advantage here.
Yeah.
So then the course of action would have been to recall as soon as possible and make sure you guys walk back into the lane together. So then you can start like matching her pressure in lane. Whether it's like pushing in the wave or not. So then here, now it puts you in an awkward situation. Because Vex comes back into lane, you don't want to lose this CS, and now you're stuck here and you have 900 gold. And it's like, oh, this kind of sucks, right?
Yeah, I see.
And yeah. Luckily, the wave's in a great spot, and Vex is shitting her pants because she doesn't know where Nunu is. So that's not bad pressure to have here. And so she's like staying really back and farming. So if she's playing like this, then like it's pretty gives you like somewhat of an opening to actually find a good back. But you gotta also find a good back because you don't want to give her too much room within those times where you're backing. Right now, good. Freeze the wave. We already know Vex is like super scared, so putting her in this position is gonna make her walk up for farm if she has to. So this is good.
Yeah.
So if you know Vex is playing super safe, here's one way to actually freeze the wave, and you'll take less damage here. Okay. So what you do is you pull the wave here.
Oh.
So then like you'll get aggro up until you walk into the bush. Yeah, and then it'll go back. Now the thing is you have to time that so that when it walks back, there's a wave here. So then you could like walk here, press S if you feel like you need a little bit more time, and then walk away and de-aggro on the bush.
Alright.
So here it actually hurts a lot to like take this.
Yeah.
So then once the wave's here, you could like even Shimpo out if you want to like mitigate some damage. Again, damage is like the amount of health you have is gonna sort of dictate how you have to play.
Yeah.
So
does the Shimpo cancel the auto attack?
Is what?
Or does the Shimpo cancel the minion's auto attack? Like you told me to Shimpo. Oh, it's just for the next attack, I guess.
I'm saying to Shimpo away.
Yeah.
So that you're too far, so that they don't hit you.
Oh, alright.
They stop hitting you. Yeah. So now you have the wave in a good spot. And look, Nunu is fucking rolling in right now. And that is pressure. So that's fine. You can pretty much hold the wave here if you want. But again, you have 1300 gold, so you're almost looking for the back here. And you want to make sure you're using your items here. So we'll see how this goes. Right now, I think freezing the wave is fine because you're still putting pressure on her. This is all just pressure. Like you're you're giving her pressure by letting her know that, hey, you have to walk for this farm. If you don't, I'm gonna be EXP over you, or I'm gonna have like more EXP than you. So this is fine pressure. Now the wave is even, and now the wave's gonna push in. So then this is when you're like, okay, I might want to look for the back here now. Now this is where the bad matchups come in, and like really factors in is that like, can you really push this wave into Vex?
Yeah.
So then Vex is playing super scared now. This is, in order for you to crash this wave, with the way Vex is playing right now, she's not even on your screen. You can actually crash this wave. Let's see if you do it. Gonna free? No.
I think I'm trying to do some damage since I saw her use Zerfia, like before I back. And then, yeah, I get it by...
He's gonna ult. Okay, good. Alright. So again, playing aggressive on Vex is hard. And I can understand you trying to go for something aggressive when you're gonna back anyway. So just chunking your health is, you know what I mean? So let's see.
And then I didn't expect her to have fear so quickly and use my ult and everything, but
okay, so in a matchup like Vex, you have to be very cautious of how much damage and how much damage you're doing to her and how you're gonna get that damage off. With Vex, you have to hit everything in order for you to actually come out in the trade because she has a shield. So then when you go in, you have to like tell yourself like, okay, I need to set up daggers on her and set up good daggers in order for me to actually like poke her out, get like electrocute. So then even in this trade here, like she's standing pretty far from the dagger, so it's like actually pretty hard for you to get good damage off here anyway. So then that doesn't hit, and then you use W, which is a habit that I want you to break. You want the dagger to be on top of her. That's how you maximize damage. So when you place a W here, like just know that it's not on the Vex, and so you're just gonna So this whole situation didn't have to happen because going back.
Yeah, I could have pushed faster and crashed the wave, I guess.
Yeah, so if we know the wave is even now and it's gonna push back into Vex. Yeah. So then what you do?
The wave is so far. And,
as soon as this wave meets up, right here, you just throw everything onto the wave. And so that finally crashes. Now, why do you want to do it? Why do you want to do it as soon as the wave meets?
Because the next wave is not even spawned yet. And
yes.
So it's gonna crash anyway.
And like this makes it so that Vex, like let's say she wants us to freeze it as well. She has to tank this whole minion wave for like 10 seconds. She doesn't want to do that. So then you just instantly shove, and you can use that same concept that you said. It's like, okay, I'm going to back anyway. It's okay for me to go for a trade with her. Think about this as well. It's like, I'm going to back anyway. I'm going to just hard shove this wave and like have her, if she hits me, it's completely fine. I'm going to back anyway, right?
All right. Yeah.
So here, you just hard shove the wave, make sure it crashes, so it bounces back. You have more time to back and come back into lane. So this would have been the scenario to do it. Now, I'm going over the same concept as before, where it's like this Vex did not push hard enough. Now here, she totally has the angle to freeze this. And if you back, you lose this whole entire next wave because the next minion wave's coming in. Right? So it's about timing your push. It's about knowing how hard you can push and doing it at the right time so that it doesn't, she's not put in this scenario. But again, Vex doesn't know. She's like, so she's just going to push this wave. And this is like a bad move on her part. Like, you don't lose anything. And so when you verse someone who knows how to freeze, it can really mess with
Yeah,
you.
it's gonna. Yeah.
Also, because you know this over her, you can get so many advantages. If you know like wave management and you implement these things that I'm telling you, you're gonna get such a big advantage over a lot of your laners. Like even in hard matchups like these, it's like, oh man, I'm versing Vex. This kind of sucks. It sucks when you're trying to play aggressive on her, and it's like you're trying to go for these trades, but then be like, okay, well, this Vex isn't very good because she doesn't know how to control the wave. If I just control the wave on her, it makes the matchup a lot easier.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say you like backed and then came back into this lane. You would be healthy enough to do this. So like
Oh,
scenarios like these
yeah.
are what you're kind of opening yourself up for. If you're like kind of sitting low health, you have to you have to know you're going to be useless for the next like 30 seconds. And so like when things like this happen, you're not going to be able to be there for it, and it's like partially your fault because you're not managing this. Like you're not managing the lane and the situation properly for you to be available for this. So I want you to be constantly in a position where you're able to help.
Yeah.
Okay? Just be mindful of it. Just be conscious of it. You go for the back here. Luckily, nothing happened there. I mean, Vex could have totally like gone and helped first, and
Yeah.
you don't
And
want her to give her that
yeah.
room. Okay. Now at this point, there's going to be less focus. I want you to focus less on the Vex and more on what's happening on the map. So at this point, I want you to
Yeah.
look at what's going on the map more so than what's happening here, and using the wave management tips, because at this point, Vex is very hard to kill, and you have very good roaming items at the moment. This will help you insta shove wave, lasting one and M-Tome, and you have movement speed as well. So this is actually a huge buy for you. So I
Yeah.
want you to see what's always like going on the map and try to figure out what your next course of action is. So
Yeah.
here, Kane's fighting
I
the
think
Nunu.
I think I'm going to help Nuno. Yeah.
And this should be super free. Okay, yeah, that was fine. Here's, in order to clean up this combo and make sure you maximize damage, first we gotta watch out for all the movement speed, or all the dashes and all the things that can prevent us from actually getting like all of our damage off, right?
Yeah.
So it's his Q and it's his ulti. Now he already used ulti on the Nunu ult, so then that's gone. And then he queued into the Nunu, so that's another thing gone. And then he has E. So with all those things in mind, you want to cover everything. So right now
Oh, yeah.
Q and ult is down. So then now you're just free to set up your W. So then here, I want you to E first. And if you're
Yeah.
walking
I think
into, yeah,
I got the E, like the timing here. I was near him, so I didn't E. I think.
you could even like E from here. Wait, okay.
Yeah.
No,
It
it
was on
wasn't up, yeah.
CT like 4 once. Yeah.
So then here, you're already in
Yeah.
melee range. Just auto W.
Yeah.
Get 2 extra autos in like within second, and get the E off here. Because like here you don't. So that in this scenario, it's very important if Kane was a lot stronger than Nunu. If you don't do this combo right, he's gonna get
I
away.
could have killed him. Yeah.
He could have killed the Nunu and just fucking get out. Right? So let's
Yeah.
say Kane is stronger here. So then auto W, and you don't even throw the Q because we know his movement options. He has his Q, which he already used. He has his ult, which he already used. So now he's trying to E away. And so here, you Q here. Because you know he's gonna try to run through the wall. So then if you Q it, you're gonna place it here.
I see.
So you want to save your Q for when they're running away. Yeah, and and have it follow where they want to go.
Yeah.
So it's important to slow things down. Really slow things down. Don't like blow all of your cooldowns too fast. New news coming in again. X flashes. Damn, this X is super scared and she really should be. So this is good. You have control in the lane here. All right. Now again, what's your next course of action, right? Always look at the map. Always look at the map here. See what your next course of action is. Want to get the plating? Fine. All right, good. Get the plating, you back up. Get the warden, okay. And we know Kane's over there. Okay.
I should have ult here, I think.
You should have what?
Ult, maybe.
Ult?
Like, yeah.
Here's a different thing that I feel like needed to be done. So then you can't go for aggressive trades like that, but again, it comes down a lot of things that will free you up from laning will be like wave management, okay? So if you just didn't touch this wave at all, you just didn't even jump on this dagger, you just left it. You let the wave stack, and then you push it all together. It would leave Vex here for a lot longer because she has to deal with the bigger wave. And it'll be easier to push because like once you shave these minions off, then like you have more minions that'll like come in. So then she's gonna focus less on you and she's gonna more focus on the wave because there's a big wave coming in. So that's one way to safely push. But at the same time, in this, since you're pushing, right? Now, if Vex was good, she knows that she doesn't even have to do anything here. The wave's gonna push in. She could play completely far back and let the wave push into her. And so you don't want to like give her in that position. So let's say the wave is even, then she has to walk up for farm, which will make it easier for you to trade because she'll walk out further. So then here, the wave even being here compared to here is a big difference because this little bump up brings her closer to the tower regardless. So then she can stand here and here and here, but you kind of want to make her like stand closer, right? She could have stood here, but then she could just like easily Q from here, but then she walked up anyway, which is bad. Now, if she's walking up here in this scenario, she could have been fucking up here, like when the wave was here.
Yeah.
So be careful, like mindlessly pushing. This is gonna affect like how you can even get aggressive on the Vex. And like you know how there's gonna be, I hear these comments a lot. It's like, oh, like how do you play when the enemy plays so safe? This is one of those scenarios where like you're giving her safety by pushing this wave. Make her walk up for farm.
All right.
Like even if you set up like Q here, it's like super hard to jump in on it because tower, right?
Yeah.
I think here not ulting is fine. And now it's like, oh crap, like Vex is like closer to tower now, it's gonna be hard. Now luckily for you, Vex just hits the wave brainlessly too. Like she's just hitting the wave. So like your crisis averted, right?
Right.
Yeah. So then it's like definitely things you should consider and be careful of. I think you die here. You ult in? Okay.
Oh, I get lucky.
Okay. So
I think I was like surprised every time she gets a fear. Like I think she when she uses a spell or something, the fear bar goes faster.
yeah.
I'm not
So
sure.
yeah, every time you jump, she's gonna get this like little like proc on you.
Oh, it's a passive. Oh,
It's her passive, yeah. It's that's why she's super hard counters you because like if you like E in front
yeah.
of her, you're gonna get this little mark, and she just has to auto you, and then that'll bring up her fear.
Oh, all right. I didn't know that.
So then, in this is gonna be a matchup specific thing. So then
Yeah,
you, I know you want to play aggressive because you feel like you're stronger than her, right?
yeah,
Which is fine. But then the big thing you're watching out for her for is the fear. Her fear is super annoying to deal with, right? The thing is,
yeah,
when you do a combo like this, the way you jump in here, it doesn't play around the fear. So like here, EW,
yeah. My minion died too.
you're throwing everything before
Oh,
she even fears. So then like you're trying to, so it's like kind of weird because like after the fear, you can't do anything. You don't have anything, right?
yeah,
So now in this scenario, I wouldn't have gone for this because Vex, regardless if she's strong or not, you guys are somewhat even in items. She has Blasting Wand, Amp Tome. You have Blasting Wand, Amp Tome. You have the Sorc Shoes. She has, yeah. It's relatively even, and in that sense, she still kind of wins it. So then, first of all, if you jump in here, her fear is going to come back up because she has her stupid passive. And
yeah.
then, but let's say you are stronger than her. What I want you to do is I want you to use QE. QE. Let's say you didn't W. You QE, make her use the fear on you. And so that you take that out of the picture and then you eat W to follow.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
then you're pretty much using the pressure from QE to just jump in, get rid of what you're worried about, and then jump in
yeah,
after. So again, it's about slowing it down.
yeah. I could even like QE, try to dodge, and sidestep, and then EW.
Yeah. So let's say in this scenario, let's say you were healthier and she just decides to take the ult anyway. Then you have like your abilities to actually fight her. If you didn't use your W here, you could have just EWQ ulted, right?
Oh,
And do your full
yeah,
combo. But
yeah,
that's if you were healthier. I don't think that was a winning fight, regardless. But beauty of it is, Vex is out of mana. And we're gonna come back with the Nash. She's gonna back, so we know. So at this point, yeah, we got pushed out of lane, but you have tempo.
yeah.
So this is another example of tempo because you come into lane, you're able to act first. You can shove this wave if you want, and then you can start doing stuff before Vex even comes back into lane. So
Oh,
like
yeah,
think about trying to create the scenario without getting pushed out of lane. Like you making this scenario happen for yourself so that you're able to continue holding tempo. If you have tempo, you can do things to hold the tempo.
oh,
And so here is a good example of that. So here looks like you're just gonna shove, yeah, which is good. Want to shove right now, Vex. You want to force Vex to like come here. You want to force Vex to come into lane, and you want her to hold this farm. And at this time, this is where you get to do stuff. So you look top. Nothing's happening bottom. We know Dragon's coming up, so we're getting info on the map here. Kane's doing a rift. And so now let's look at the scenario here. You, Nunu, Jax, and Vex. Now Vex is back into lane. She has to be stuck in this under this wave for a little bit. And so,
yeah,
but she can clear pretty fast and instantly walk over. So we know she's gonna, we know she's going to like be in this fight if there's a fight at all. Jax, on the other hand, is stuck on their tower because there's a big wave. And so like we have to also keep this in mind. Let's see how this goes. It's right now, because Jax isn't moving, it's a 2v3. So we want to be careful here. Okay, Jax is moving now. Okay, yeah, not bad. Good. Shaco's here as well. Okay, perfect. This whole thing was because you had the first move, and you were able to stop the Kayn. This is like one very good example of why holding tempo and having tempo is good. It took Vex way longer for her to actually come in here and help. That's one. But two, I like how you play this out. You had to play it out patiently and safely. You jumping even here is good because they're coming from here. So then this whole thing was played well. And I just want you to know also that it's like, it's not just about like playing around their abilities. Maybe if you got a better engage off on Fiora, you would have been here and then you could have potentially died. But the reason why you play like the way you did is because it's a 2v3 and like Vex is coming from here with the Kayn. So then the way you played was good, and then with intention, it's because it's a 2v3. You have to play it slow, wait for Jax to come in. Jax comes in, gets the stun, and then you go in. Okay?
Right. Yeah.
All right, we get the Rift mid. Perfect. Oof.
Yeah. I die here.
Well, at this point, we know Vex is coming back. That's at least one solid info that we have.
Yeah.
Pushing in mid, Vex 14 seconds. You watch this timer carefully. 10 seconds, 9 seconds, 8 seconds. 3, 2, 1. All right, we try to image that like she's walking this way. And then you sort of like plan out a little bit from there. Now, if you want to push this fast, because I know you're like looking at this tower. So if you want to push this fast, right? You Q, you do your Q, right? This is actually kind of ironic. You Q, right? Here you eat W. That same combo you've been doing. Like you do it here onto this wave because yeah, you place 2 daggers on top of these minions and then you can kill them instantly with enough AP. So you QEW here, instantly get rid of like the melee minions and the mage minions, and then you work on the cannon. But then here at the same time, you have to understand that, okay, like I'm low, Vex is walking back into lane, she might ult me.
Yeah. Which I totally forget.
Yeah. I'd say that was pretty unlucky. I think these are things that, like, let's say you didn't really know what Vex did. It might be... These are things you'll learn the hard way. So, like, yeah, you learn that the hard way. Just keep that in mind next time. No problem. She pushes you in, you lose the wave, it is what it is. And then now, what's your next course of action? Come into lane, Vex is out of the lane. She moved, looks like she moved bottom. Did you catch that?
Oh, I didn't know.
So
I'm not sure.
okay, so here's a signal for you to watch your laner. So here, you're dead. Again, she has the move. She can do anything at this point because you're dead. Yeah. Same scenario as when you killed Vex. And so you want to watch her carefully and see where she's going. And so here...
Yeah, but lane is pushed and Jax is not even in his lane, so...
Yes, that's...
just gotta be bad, yeah.
That's also info that we can assume that Vex would be around bottom side, but it's also drag as well. So, like, I would, like, spam ping like missing. Oh, here, on the ward as well.
Yeah.
Which is the ward you placed before. So, yeah.
Yeah.
you should, like, spam ping. Like, be like, hey, Vex is around, Vex is around, Vex is around.
Yeah.
So the signal is that you died, and now you need to watch where the enemy goes. Okay, so Vex out of the lane, you're just gonna get tower and boom. Okay.
I don't know what. Oh, she got blue, I think.
Like it. I like it. Missed the kill without ignite, but it's not the worst.
Yeah.
All right, so now we have this fight here. So what's important? What's the important part here?
It's a 3v4. I mean,
Yes.
v4.
You pushed her out. So now you're at a huge advantage here.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I didn't get the kill on Vex. That kind of sucks, but like, boom,
You can
we
win
have this 3v4
the
now.
fight. And yeah.
Rico's already going in on the morgue. Okay. Careful when you use EQ without the W, because it'll put you in this weird spot
Yeah.
where you're like, okay, well,
Yeah, sometimes I just like press EW, but I'm not in range, and I just use W.
yeah,
Like,
it's fine. If you're
yeah.
gonna go for like, just know that like you can go for QE. That's fine because you have your you can place your E to where you can pick up your Q, but then
Yeah.
EQ is like really awkward because
Yeah. Yeah.
the Q will always land on the other side of what you Q. Like a
Yeah.
okay. So at this point, this is where the game gets a little bit confusing, right? We all struggle with somewhat of the mid game at this point,
Yeah.
right? So I want to tell you like guaranteed advantages of what you can get here, or like what this allows you to do. So right now, you took your mid tower, and what happens is because you took their mid tower, it opens this area up for you. This small little area. Thing is, they have towers here, so this area, they have something to walk back to. Let's say this tower was gone. Then you kind of have this whole area to sort of use to snowball, right?
Right.
So I want you to think about like this is what it is when it comes to opening up the map. You take like all their towers here, you open up this whole map. And let's say you have all your towers, then like it's impossible for them to like work around here and work around here. But once you
Oh.
take the towers out, then like boom, like you guys can use this whole area too. And so because you took the mid tower, you get to use this little tiny little area right here. And so at this point of the game, I like going sweeper just because of this fact, because I'm able to walk in here, right? And then so now because I'm able to walk in here, I can clear deeper wards, and it'll make it really hard for them to walk in. So
Oh.
it's gonna be scary for them. This is how you like cut vision, cause pressure, and if they walk in, like you could be here and just fucking kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even here, like let's say these are down, and like if bot lane like comes up to farm here, which you'll see a lot. If the bot lane tower is gone, the bot lane will extend sometimes here to farm. They're very overextended. They have nothing to walk back to. So you can use this area here to like just kill them, right?
Yeah. Right.
So here getting sweeper is good, but also there's another concept. Now, we at this point we still want to catch mid waves. This will gradually just give us EXP as we go, right? And whether we use our lead to like get kills and whatnot, at this point we're still gonna get killed. We still need to grab the waves to make sure that we're constantly at an upwards trend in terms of EXP and level. That's how you gap the enemy. So
All right. Yeah.
the wave, let's say you push us in, right? it pushes all the way into that tower. Let's say Vex grabs the wave, and then her wave is coming in. It takes a lot longer for it to get to your
Oh yeah.
tower. So which means you have so much more time to actually do stuff before you actually have to grab the wave. So again, it really opens you up to like move and do stuff on the map. This is why taking mid tower is good. Okay, so I want you to use
Makes sense.
that.
Yeah.
Mhm. Which you are pretty much doing. So I mean, I think you already kind of noticed like, oh look, I could do whatever I want now. And
Yeah.
yeah,
But
I'm just
like I don't know even why. It's really good to know why it's happening.
yeah. So now you know why it's happening. So I think
Yeah.
when it comes to these coaching sessions, now you are more aware. So like here, you push in the Vex, boom, exactly. You go roam, you do something,
Yeah.
and like the wave is like gonna take so long for it to meet up, and now you're like looking at the next course of action. You go gank this Fiora because she's low, and you can get top tower. Great move, great move. WQ E. Sorry. Works out great. Okay. Just little things I want to clean up. So here, great move here. I like that you're moving up here. Exactly what it is. And then here you eat W, Q. She has. You could potentially just ult and ignite here
Yeah.
because you're
I
like
think I
in.
saw the Vex. Like I was
Yeah.
scared of fear.
Remember, you get your damage off really fast.
Yeah.
Here, you can if you do it like instantly. So it's like eat WQ. You know, like you can burst her down. It's just like
Yeah.
if you know you could burst it down, eat WQ, ult right here, and then just ignite.
Yeah.
And it's gonna
Yeah.
take a while for Vex to actually stop you. She didn't even have her fear up either. So yeah,
Yeah.
you're afraid of Vex, but it's like if you know you could burst her down, like go for it, do it quick, and yeah, that could have been a good ulti there. And then it kind of like doesn't put you in this like weird awkward spot where like you're trying to kill them and then now they're using their abilities on you.
Yeah.
Now they're fighting. Honestly, here not too bad. Now here, ELQ, okay. Yeah, it's fine. All right, so now you guys push out the top tower and let's go off the same concept. You open this part up. So like use this area and see where you really can move here. But next thing we can also think is bot lane is actually pretty low. We can try to take advantage here, take this tower, and then like open up here. So maybe that's our next course of action.
Yeah.
I don't know if you actually win or lose this game. Do you win? I think you
I
do
win.
win.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So then I want to sort of like at this point, coaching or like telling you what to do is kind of tricky. I can help you be aware of certain situations, but it's still like pretty random what you can do. I think in this snowballing situation though, I think there's a lot you can get off of the map. So as we go through this last like 10 minutes, I'm going to try to
Yeah.
tell you like exactly what I'm thinking and everything is going to be on this map. Okay?
All right. Yeah.
So again, sweeper would have been nice. Your build's fine. Going into Nashor's Proto Belt, that's good. Now we see Fiora top lane, Jax is mid lane recalling, and Vex and Kayn are mid. So everyone showed on the map. So here it's an angle for you to potentially go bottom, but you want to like look at it. Want to look down there, see what's going on. Okay. All right. Now the wave's coming in. They're starting to walk back into the tower. Okay, it's like okay. Now Vex is gone. Now Kayn is gone as well. I think Kayn went topside from what I saw. And we don't know where Vex is at the moment. She could be going bottom, but we have this nice little ward here that you place that will give us information. So as long as they don't walk into that, we know that they won't be able to like walk in this way. So we have time. Let's see. If I was going down here, going for this dive, I would want the wave to come in first. And so it's going to take some time. We want something tanking this tower for us to dive safely. So I got to think like, okay, my mid wave's coming in. Do I want to grab it first? I think here it's okay to actually move down here because the wave's already pushing in. So I think going down here is fine. Now we saw Vex.
Yeah.
And we saw Kayn. And so it's like, oh shit. All right.
Yeah, like I wanted to wait for the wave to come in, and then I saw the Kayn. I just went in.
Oh shit,
Like,
so you go
they
in here.
were mid HP, so yeah.
All right, good. All right, that's perfect. So then here, it's good that you knew that you could assassinate them. So then you immediately jumped in, assassinated them, and got out. I like this play. I like that you moved down here too. Okay, this was a good move. All right, so continuing the snowball here. Now we have Vex, Kayn, bot side, bot lane's dead, and Fiora's top lane. Nunu's mid lane. We have 3 people down here compared to 2. Maybe I can stay in this bush to potentially bait them to fight, and then I'll go in and kill them both. So Kane's gonna walk up and try to do something here because Vex is walking in, but damn, we are Shaco trapped up. So this is a winning fight here.
Yeah. Yeah, I went too soon, I think.
Yes. And EWQ ult.
Good.
Or does you don't even have to ult. Perfect. Played that well. Might have been an angle for you guys to take the tower.
To take the tower, yeah.
Yeah. With Nash, you actually do a lot of damage to towers.
Yeah, yeah.
And it only gets stronger with the AP that you get. Here, the build's good. Again, Sweeper would have been really nice here because of what I told you before.
Yeah. About the map.
Okay, now you're pushing this mid wave. All right. Okay, so here you could have potentially maybe looked bottom instead of going here. I think grabbing the midway here is okay, but also Nunu's already like looking at bot.
Yeah.
So it's like nice to back him up here. And also they're like pushed up. Now, here's another thing about the towers. It's like we have these 2 tower down and we have the mid tower down, which means there's no way the enemies are pushed up a little bit farther than that here. It's like very hard for them to be. So then, like, let's say the waves are coming in naturally. Vex is going to be here, and then Fiora is going to be here, unless she pushes in, right? And so when the enemy is placed here, it's like very hard for them to react. It's like it takes too long. And so when the bot lane is like low tower and they're pushed up here, they're pretty vulnerable. So this might be another eye for you to go bot. Okay, but Nunu gank spot. Oh shit, you killed the Vex. She has no fear. She walks in on the dagger. Rookie mistake.
Yeah.
You love to see it. Good, you get the Vex. And then Fiora's bottom with Jinx. Kane's mid. Vex is dead. Morg is dead. 3 people are here. Yeah, you fucking dive him, dude. Then you go down. You kill the Fiora. Perfect. Here, Kane goes in. I think you guys just... Ooh, Vex is here. Okay. Reset on the Kane. Going on the Vex. Nice. Going on the Morg. Nice. Perfect. Good, good. Now, Jack, this whole time, Jax is pushing top.
Yeah. I should have taken bot turret, I guess.
No, you're actually fine. I mean, you could start hitting the tower, but again, it's like you're low and you have gold to spend. I think it's okay for you to back here. That's fine. Then you go. And now Jax is here. Top inhib is officially down, which means that there will be constant pressure going into top lane. So if you push here and you push here, or even get the objectives, you know that there's always gonna have to be somebody who's reacting to this.
Yeah.
So then we could use that to our advantage. I continue to snowball. Okay. So we know Fiora's top, we know Jinx is bottom. You see Morg, Kayn. Kayn shows. We don't know where Morg is, and Vex. So Fiora just left, or we lost vision of Fiora. So now I want you to be mindful that, like, okay, at this time, like, Vex, we don't know where Vex Morg is. If I jump in on this guy, there's a potential chance they could be here, like, ready for me to go in, because we are showing that we're shoving you and Jax.
Yeah.
So they might prepare themselves prior to actually, like, help the Kayn. Who knows? Kayn could be baiting too. We don't know. So like, the safer place to just not go for it, because you don't have enough information on where they are. If Jinx, Morg, Vex, Fiora were all on the side lanes, you can go for this. But if there's not enough information for you to actually make that claim and know where they are, don't even go for it. Unless you know it's an instant burst and he's just dead. But then you went for a combo here where it's like not really the case, right? You had to ult here, if anything. You want to go for a combo where it's like E, W, ult, like, instant nuke, jump out.
This was weird.
Yeah.
Like, I think I thought my Jax was next to me or something, and I tried to jump on him and everything, but
yeah.
Honestly,
he made the right play. This is, like, even if it was you too, like, this is dangerous. He made the right play by leaving. All you want to do is crash the wave. Yeah, and just let them take care of the wave. That's all you really guys want. It's because you have 2 objectives up. Jax is looking at the objective, it looks like. So careful. Be careful of being blood hungry.
Yeah.
Because as cat mains, that's something we have to really take it, like, control. It's an impulse that we can't tame sometimes. You know what I mean? And I get that. Completely get it. But let's say you dying here, like, what does this do? What does this do for the enemies in this situation?
Well, they could be like 5v4 and take the Drake, or
yes, that's one. But there's another thing, like, more so in the long run.
Oh, they are getting golds also for me, I guess.
That too, but also there's something else.
No idea.
Okay, so they can, while you're dead, you guys can't pressure. You can't use the pressure from this inhib while you're dead. And so, let's say you're off the map. Let's say you die. The best course of action here is to pressure these 4 things with your team. The tower bottom, the tower mid lane, the dragon, and the baron. And so, like, let's say you're in this scenario. Let's say you're Ezreal. Or let's say you were like, okay, I think we should take dragon here. And then Jax went in. Then you're just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, this is the same scenario where it's like, oh, my team is, like, being, like, they're just inting at this point.
Yeah.
So then, like, this is kind of the same scenario, because the objective priority here is these, because you have this inhib down and you want to use it, and it's on a timer. And so, like, when you're dead for 30 seconds, it allows them to stall. There's, like, less pressure going into them because they have 1 person dead on your team, and also they get to just farm waves as they come in, and also the inhib. Like, think about if you guys are losing waves coming in this way, and they're getting all the waves coming in this way. If you can't use this, they're just gonna farm all these minions. You got to think about that. They can scale off this.
Yeah.
So then you want to make sure you're using this pressure for you to, like, start pressuring other things. It has to be used. Okay. So then going for something like this is, if if you're confident and it would work, boom, you put them in a 4v5, and now you get to hard pressure, get whatever the fuck you want. The payoff is huge. But then you have to really be sure, because it can swing the other way if you don't do it well. Now here, it's great because like 3 of them died, so it almost works out in your favor. But at the same time, no, actually it doesn't work out in your favor. You guys are stronger. Only Ezreal and Nunu can pressure because it caused this fight, and now they can pretty much just stall because Nunu and Ezreal can't end on their own, or they can't like push up like too many objectives on their own. So they can get the drag if anything, which is fine, I guess. But there could be more done. Like, think about like if your whole team was alive right now, Ezreal dies. So think about like your whole team was alive. You take the drag, go into top mid, start pushing those in, and then I don't know, you make a pick, you go Baron. Like there's so much more room for you to do stuff. So I want you to see things. I want to see like the objective side of things because that's mainly what you want to prioritize. Now here, Jinx is like farming the top wave. It's constantly going to be coming in, and so they will get this farm here. But all right, that's just the lesson on that. So now, do here. So like again, because of this inhib, there will constantly be people trying to get this. So then Fiora's there, and this is where TP is pretty good, where she's gonna just be able to TP back into wherever fight. I don't even know if she has TP, but you guys make the pick here, and I think the pick here is fine because, I mean, you can kind of foresee this coming. Kane's here, but we have information that Morg, Jinx, Vex were here. Fiora's top lane, so then Kane's alone, so you can get aggressive on this guy because you have your team around. Kane might come here because of Dragon. So it's like a clear kind of vision that like, okay, Kane might just fucking end here. So we get the kill on Kane. So now we're in a scenario where it's 5v4, just like I said before. Now look how much room you have to do stuff. You push out the waves, start. You can even Baron here, and then really just end. So let's see. You guys started pushing the mid wave. And again, using this inhib, Fiora and Jinx both having to deal with the top. I don't know why Jinx is there, but there's 2 people in top lane. And so like now that relieves so much pressure off of you guys here. There's 2 people. But again, if you want to like be a little bit more sure about the pressure, this is where you would push aside, because you want pressure coming in from 3. So then let's say you're coming in, your pressure is coming in from 2. Vex and Morgana is just going to be here, and then Jinx and Fiora are going to be here. Now, if you had pressure here, one person has to come here. So it's really going to split them up, especially if there's only 4 people. And so instead of having Morg and Vex match here, it could be like just Morg, and then there's 2 people here, and then you can have like 3 people here. And so like it's like one person is trying to defend one tower against multiple people, which is why I'm wondering why Jinx is even here. Like they both shouldn't be up here. Fiora looks like she might be typing. I don't know. But then, yeah, you get what I'm saying, right? It's like a lot of pressure, pressuring from all sides, seeing where like you can really go with the angles of like trying to throw in all the pressure at once. But you know, you guys going for this Baron call is kind of awkward because now your team is like bot.
Yeah.
So we'll see where this goes. This is where the messiness of low elo definitely comes in. But luckily you have Nunu. Just like take the Baron. Now your team's fighting bottom. So it's almost like, yeah, taking Baron was one thing, but maybe trying to fight here is fine because we still have one person here. So it's still a 5v4 here. So that could have been okay too. Well, you guys win this fight anyway, so it's good. Now you guys push into the tower, and now 2 inhibs are down. Now all you really need to do is just like dump everyone bot lane and just fucking push. So, like I said with the inhibs, you know, pretty obvious. Just 2 inhibs down. There's not really much for you guys to do here, and then you just push bottom and slowly break your way because there's already pressure going into here, so people have to react. So you guys can like stay top here as 5 and just like not do anything until the minions come in. Like you could even do that because there's constantly pressure coming in anyway. Now here we have the top inhib up. So what happens? With the top inhib up, it'd be better if Jax actually went here and you guys 4 pressured here, because Jax would probably be a lot stronger to actually just 1v1 the Fiora here and take this inhib. And if multiple people come here to try to take the inhib, then like you just push in this tower.
Yeah, we get it for free.
Yeah. But they're in things, so that's a good time. And then 2 people are down, and now you guys just pretty much. Oh, hold up. Minus, okay. Okay, so one thing I want in this scenario is to make sure that you don't die. Make sure that you stay healthy, because you guys aren't pressured to do anything, really. There is no, like, you guys have pressure coming into the mid lane already. So, like, you can use that to split up the team. You don't have to get, like, aggro right now. If there was no inhibs down, then maybe, yeah, you're like, okay, I have to get aggressive and see if I can make a play on them so that we can actually start applying pressure. But there's already pressure coming in mid lane. And so this is already this is already something they have to react to. And so you almost don't have to do anything. I mean, Ezreal gets aggressive. You can try to make picks here. But this comes down to champions. I mean, if you're use parry, this is great. With Kayn, it's like the knockup, the ulti, and so like you have to keep those all in mind when you're going for these. So even like tanking tower here is pretty. It's like you don't want anything to like put your health at a detriment, because ultimately you being healthy is enough pressure because of the inhib. Good, Jax is top. You guys take the base tower. Jax is up there. There's multiple people there. Here you go and help him out. Boom, game's over. All right. So a little recap. Okay, we'll try to go over what I think, things that I think you should sort of put your attention on. So yeah. I mean, honestly, this game was good. I don't think there's too many things I would like stray away from. I think this is a good example of like what you should do. But here, definitely one thing with the lane is the combo. QEW. Try to expand your combo with like QEEW. That way you get 2 E's off. And you always have your Shunpo reset. Okay?
Yes.
Also, the waves. All the wave talk we did. I want you to look over those. And I want you to like try to implement those strategies. And I think those will help you a lot in any matchup you're in, even a shitty matchup like Vex. These wave management tips will work on pretty much everyone, and it'll help you like even get aggressive on them. It's just, it'll be a big edge you have over people that don't know wave management. So definitely use those to your advantage. Again, the talk about tempo. Make sure you sort of keep that in mind so that you're constantly available for your team, just in case anything happens on the map.
Yeah.
I think mid to late game was played pretty well. I think around here, just like getting the tower, using this time to roam and really just like affect the map at this point, because you have all the leeway to do it because their mid tower is down. I want you to continue to pressure and just keep up the pressure and make sure that your other teammates are winning their lanes too. Like you help them win. You want your whole team to be winning so that you guys can all just like push in together. And it's going to happen naturally. You know, coordination isn't really something that happens really in low elo. But one thing that you can do is make sure that everyone wins their lane so that you guys naturally win. And the talk about the towers and stuff, and the inhibs and the pressure around the late game, the mid to late game, or it's more so mid game. That's just pretty much knowledge that you need to use in order for you to close out games.
Yeah, to get objectives and
Yeah. And just knowing like where the pressure's coming in, when to actually go for picks, where to actually go for picks. Um, yeah, stuff like that. And a lot of it's going to be just reading the map and understanding where the enemies are placing themselves so that you know what your next course of action is. Yeah, I would say like overall the mid to mid game was played well. I think this is a good idea of like how you should play out the games, but it can be polished for sure. And then when I
yeah,
again with the things that I've told you, I'm making you more self-aware of like what's actually happening so that you're able to act better to these
yeah.
situations that come. So this was a good game overall. And even your build was good. Your build is fine. You went Zanya's second. You went Zanya's third. You already had the damage to do damage with the Proto Belt and the Nashor's Tooth. So going to Zanya's is fine to make sure you're not dying in these scenarios. And then going into the Shadow Flame after just to like kill them even and burst them even harder. So yeah.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Um, I don't have any question. I think
Okay, you can give yourself
like
some time to think because I need to use the bathroom.
yeah. All right.
I'll be right back. All right. You have any questions?
Maybe about the CS. Like, is it fine if you just roam for kills and lose? Like in this game, I was 124 CS at 27 minutes. Like, it's bad. But is
Um,
it fine when you're just getting kills around the maps? Like, is it even worth it?
so when I play, I actually don't look too much into my CS. Though I always try to like last hit. I always try to make sure I last hit. But if I don't last hit
Yeah,
well, like sometimes my CS count is low. And that's completely fine because like we may focus a lot on the CS count, but you still won the game. So I'm like
yeah,
giving you whatever I taught you is gonna be more important than actually keeping your CS number up. Cat
yeah,
generally doesn't want to farm too much. She doesn't get a lot of farm, I mean, because her laning's
yeah,
so bad, right? It's like she doesn't
yeah.
have control, especially into the Vex lane. So especially into the Vex lane, I don't expect my CS count to be high. The thing is, if you
Oh,
play the early game out well, and kind of like let's say the early game comes out really well and you like really just pressure the map, the CS will come with it. Because like if you know where to shove, if you know when to shove, if you know like when to grab the waves, if you're like coming back, roaming, and then coming back into lane to grab the wave, that's gonna get your CS count up. But I
oh,
wouldn't worry too much about CS. I miss a lot of
okay.
CS myself, and I forgave myself for being shit at it.
Alright.
Yeah. Obviously, CS count is always good though, so always try to keep it up, but don't feel bad if it's bad.
Alright. I think that's about it. I don't know. Like maybe a losing game would be better to see how to come back. Like
Yeah.
sometimes it's just so hard to get back in the game
Yeah.
as Katarina, especially.
Um, I think it's case by case. When it comes to losing games, you have to really see how the enemies are playing and sort of play the best you can against what they're doing. So it's a little bit hard to say right now, like what is the best course of action to do.
Yeah,
But definitely making taking advantage of mistakes is a very general concept. Because like again, when you guys are pushing here, um, it wasn't completely like by the books, right? Like there's scenarios like this where it's
yeah,
like really awkward. Like you can take advantage of these situations
yeah,
if
yeah,
you're on the red team, and so that's essentially what you do. But it really depends. Like if the enemies play perfectly and they like play everything out just like insanely correct, then it's like very hard for you to do anything. So
yeah,
ultimately, what it comes down to is not putting yourself in that position in the first place. So like this whole like early game and how you like pressured around the mid game, if you like continue to do that in all your games, then you will prevent yourself from being put in this situation that the red team's in. And that's what I want you to do.
all right. Yeah,
Any other questions?
I don't think so.